Okay, sorry to be recording this while I'm sick, but that's where I'm at. So I just want to go through the pet problem. You got the link to this video because you've already turned it in and I gave you back my feedback, but I just want to do a general, like, here's what I was looking for type video. So, pardon me. My inspiration for this problem was in actually a book called Crossing the River with Dogs. I changed the animals from rabbits and parakeets to gerbils and parrots, just to make it a little harder to find online, but it's the same exact problem. I almost chose a similar problem with it. They used 3 numbers, but that's a lot harder, and I didn't want the problem to be that hard. I wanted it to be really accessible and easy to get at. After I solved this problem, I did some looking around online, like I always do for my problems, and I found this coin problem and Frobenius numbers, or however you say that guy's name, and how those related exactly to this problem. You can read about those on this Wikipedia page called Coin Problem, if you desire. Okay, there we go. So in your introduction / problem section, you should have had an introduction. It could have been the first sentence, like, in this paper we're going to look at the zany problem and its solution, or something like that, but let your reader know what you're doing instead of just diving right into the problem. Okay, and then you needed the key points of the problem. Here, I think those were, let's move that, that you can buy gerbils for $5 and parrots for $9. Okay, you need that 5 and 9. You needed that you can buy any combination of those, including just one or just the other. And that we were looking for the smallest whole number you cannot spend exactly on a combination of these. I think those are the main points of this problem. My classroom student suggested that money is not an issue, or the number of parrots and gerbils are not an issue as well. And you could include that, but for sure I'm at least looking for these 3 things. You've got parrots for 9 and gerbils for 5. You can buy any combination, and we want the smallest whole number you can't spend exactly. In your analysis section, I think you needed 3 things. You needed to tell me the correct number, which was 31. You needed to tell me why you can't spend that much. And I think this is important because you could tell me that the answer was 30 or think that the answer was 47, but unless you convince me that you can't spend exactly that much, then your answer isn't necessarily convincing. And then you also needed to tell me why you could spend any number that was higher. Okay, so you need the correct number, why you couldn't spend that much, and why you can spend any number higher. So I just want to go through that quick. So I say that the number is 31. That's the most that you can have and not be able to spend it. So first let me show you why you can't get that high. So let's do parrots. Remember, those are $9. And gerbils. And remember, those are $5. And this isn't the only way to prove that you can't spend 31, but it's one way. If I had 0 parrots, then the closest number under 30 I could get with gerbils would be if I had 6 of them. That would give me $30. That's no good. And similarly, with 0 parrots and 7 gerbils, I'd be at 35. Okay, that's not 30. What if I had 1 parrot? If I had 1 parrot, that'd be $9. I could have 4 gerbils, excuse me, 4 gerbils for $20. That would be $29. Or I could have 1 parrot and 5 gerbils. That would be $34. Okay, again, neither of those give me the number I'm looking for. I suppose I could have 2 parrots and then 2 gerbils. That'd be 18 and 10 for 28. That's not 31. Or 2 and 3 is 33. That's not 31. I could have 3 parrots and 0 gerbils for 27. Or 3 parrots and 1 gerbil for 32. Or I could have 4 parrots and 0 gerbils for 36. Okay, you can see no combination of parrots and the gerbils around them gives me exactly 31. So I think this shows that you can't get 31. Again, this isn't the only way to show you can't get 31, but I think it's one way. All right, now for that third point, I need to be able to convince you that I can get every number higher than 31. So here's how I did it. I said that 32 is 3 parrots and 1 gerbil. 33 is 2 parrots and 3 gerbils. Okay. 34 is 1 parrot and 5 gerbils. 35 is 0 parrots and 7 gerbils. And 36 is 4 parrots and no gerbils. Okay, so here is a very real concrete way that I can get the numbers 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. Now, any number larger than these, any whole number larger than these is exactly a multiple of 5 larger than one of these. Okay, so if I wanted 37, it's 5 plus 32. If I want 38, it's 5 plus 33. If I want 39, it's 5 plus 34. If I want 40, it's 5 plus 30. If I want 41, it's 5 plus 36. If I want 42, it's 2 times 5 plus 32, or 10 plus 32. Okay, so every number larger than these 5 guys is 5 more than a multiple of these. So I can always just add on more gerbils to get to the next numbers. Okay, so no matter how big a number you get me, it is some multiple of 5 larger than one of these 5 numbers. And the way that I figured out that I was done when I was first doing this problem, I made a list in order, and once I made 5 numbers in a row, I knew that I was done because everybody bigger than that is able to be written as 5 plus, or this number plus some number of 5s. Okay, so there are my 3 parts of the analysis section. Hold on, I'm going to cough. Okay, so I told you the number was 31, why you couldn't hit 31, and then why you could hit everything larger. Those aren't the only ways to make those arguments, but you definitely need to make both of those arguments for me. Okay, in your heuristic section, you need to tell me some heuristic. For example, I made a table of possible solutions, which is how I started. Or, cough again. I brainstormed with my neighbor Bob to come up with a place to start. Okay, just tell me some problem-solving technique you used in solving this problem. Looking back, you needed to tell me something you learned besides your solution. For example, I learned it's difficult to work with tables in Microsoft Word, or I learned that product means multiplication, or something like that. Just anything you learned since you started doing this problem. You need to tell me a comparison to another problem, a specific problem. So tell me the problem, just a little bit about it, like a sentence, and then tell me how it was like or unlike this one. Here I have written, on the homework, we had to find all the combinations of coins we could use to buy a candy bar. This is like that problem because I started each by making a list. Okay, there's another problem, and there's a way that they were alike. And then finally, write a conclusion sentence like, hey, what a zany problem that was. Okay. Everything should be typed, computer generated, and neat looking. I'm not getting a lot of scrolls for this one because there weren't, like I couldn't draw a nice picture for it, so I didn't expect to get a lot of pictures. But if you draw a picture, make sure it looks nice and neat. Make sure your name is on the write-up and not just in the file name. I had a couple come in without names on them, so just make sure that it's actually in the paper. Make sure grammar and spelling are not an issue, okay, so that you've got everything spelled right or whatever. If you've got the squiggly lines under your words, just see what those are. And then rewrites are due in March 2nd, probably on March 2nd instead. And again, you can just email those to me. If you have any questions about your paper, how I graded it, or any other thing, please just shoot me an email, and thanks for watching.